Oh, that was kind of funky. Myself, walking from the garden center. Older woman in her 60s and another woman in her 40s. Both African American came walking in really fast from the garden center door also. I did not have any contact with them, which my video plainly shows. Standing here on the exit alley halfway to the pharmacy, hoping somebody knows stuff. Some man who I didn't recognize. He didn't have his store manager name tag on. I just said, hi, hello, how are you? And I just nodded, and the man he was talking to kept talking non-stop. Which I think store managers at Walmart should probably go through that all day long, I think. I need to say, but I did not want to take a chance. On the Walmart best friend. It's dirty a lot of times. People just go in there and make terrible messes. I guess because it's not their house, they don't care. And they all the time cleaning them. I don't know who the woman was that walked, and the other black woman she walked with. Didn't have any contact with anybody from the time I got out of the Durango until I got to the man who looked like the store manager talking to a vendor. I took a ride on the first row by the swimming pool stuff, that very first row off of the garden center, and walked around. I thought it would take me back to the pharmacy, but it didn't. So I had to go back out. So the two women kept on walking. And that's what usually happens to me, is that people do that, and they speed up behind me and jag like that. And they have to be moving pretty fast. That's what it looked like. I did not give anybody any consent to make any purchases. Like I say, the only person that I had any contact with was, I think, the store manager. I just gave him a greeting. He just looked at me casually, nodded, and continued listening to the other guy. So I think that was, usually that's the way it happens. It's usually a cop who does that, who's standing and facing an employee at the stores where Jake and I go. They'll stand outside doing that. And it's to identify me. And Jake, I guess, if he's with me, the store manager didn't have his name tag on. And that man, I figure he must have just been talking nonstop Cause I couldn't even hear what he was saying. He was talking so fast. But just because somebody walked in the store at the same time as me does not mean that I give them consent to go make purchases. You know, that's a ridiculous argument to make. But neither one of them has cell phones in their hands, so, you know, it's all circumstantial anyway. The only way you're going to know is if you check my words against the affidavits in case law, or excuse me, case log, you know. So that's, generally speaking, that's what Jake and I go through. Usually the ones that come up walking behind us like that, usually they will have a cell phone in their hand. So that was supposed to have been a witness prearranged to say that I was there. There was another man who walked in and turned right there at the corner and was had a hat on and was like bent over looking at the plant. I just farted and it was stinky fart. Ew. Ew. Thank God I'm the only one here in my vehicle. That's embarrassing. I don't fart much, but, you know, I do fart on occasion. I'll take my bottle of shampoo in and wash my hair tonight at work. Maybe grab a towel. I've never given anybody consent to make purchases for me. And having people that are designated for something walk in at the same time as me that I don't know and walk by me and look at me sideways. You know, people do that kind of crap anyway. That's, to me, you know, it's ridiculous. And it's just them being where I'm at, so they can say that. But that's why I have to videotape, because it shows I didn't look at them or speak to them or nod at them or anything. And they're just placing themselves there so they can say that. It's called falsifying evidence. They ain't getting consent from me to do anything. I don't even know those people, and I don't know any of them. In any of the situations where we've been through this. So, you know, ain't nothing else to say about that.